is Summer Game Fest.
It's 2023, and video games aren't fun anymore. Take a look at promotional game events like the Game Awards, Summer Game Fest, and tell me what you see. Old IPs, franchises, beating the heck out of some random zombie-like creature to death. Oh, I've never seen that one before. The main reason why video games aren't fun anymore is that every other game is just another FPS or some post-apocalyptic game where you brainlessly hack and slash bots for no reason. These games have the possibility of being good, but from just its genre and settings, it's getting stale. Even if you have a video game that might potentially have a good story, what it really feels like is that you're just handed a gun or a sword and instructed to annihilate some henchmen in order to get nuggets of story beats. Oh, you want more of the story? Mow down these brainless henchmen, please! It feels like every video game character is like a John Wick or Neo type of character. Or more relevantly, Doom Guy. This badass that just runs through multitudes of enemies with no inhibition or remorse. How many times can you just gun and slash down random enemies for no reason until you realize you aren't playing a video game? The game developers are playing you. Here's a tweet from Melee legend Hungrybox after watching the Game Awards. I know it's a boomer-ass take and I just mainly play Smash, but my god, every game looks the same to me apart from a select few magic swords and guns adventure in an apocalyptic wasteland where you fight monsters and aliens with friends in space. I'm just so tired of it. Other people are noticing how unoriginal and uninspiring these video games being released are. I'm not expecting that every game be a masterpiece that just blows everyone's minds, but it seems like these games are being developed because the people behind these projects enjoy being game developers, rather than putting a story or feeling into reality. And on the multiplayer side, every other new game is just a derivative of another genre or another game. I don't expect every multiplayer game release to be the next Fortnite or anything like that, but it's like nobody even tries anymore. I've seen games that have received millions of dollars in funding, and it's just some derivative of another game. You know what I think? People with money have this illusion that just because they have money, it gives them good judgment.
Do you feel in charge?
It's clear that these investors aren't gamers or that they have terrible taste in games in the first place. Like, take this game for example. This is FANGs, a 4v4 MOBA where the map is this tiny arena that players fight in. No, I don't know how much funding this game had, but here's how they're trying to sell this game.
From the mind of Steve Gunzo Feek.
First off, nobody knows who that is, but he's allegedly a former developer of Dota.
FANGs is a 4v4 ever-evolving MOBA.
Well, that was the first mistake, creating a MOBA, which no one is asking for, when we already have MOBAs that people are perfectly content with. MOBAs are a derivative of the real-time strategy genre, and here game developers are making a derivative of a MOBA by placing a bunch of heroes in a small arena instead of a larger map. Where's the innovation?
Get straight to the action.
When you read this, they're trying to frame this as a good thing, but in reality, they're just trying to make the game as simple as possible, to attempt to appeal to a broader fan base. It's pretty obvious that people are just trying to engineer an addicting game where you can get in and get out as soon as possible in a positive feedback loop, meanwhile dumbing down the game in the process. Everyone is trying to be multi-millionaires, maybe a billionaire due to inflation. Can you please just try starting a business in some other field? Nobody wants another MOBA, okay? The next big multiplayer game has to take risks. It can't be cookie cutter in any way, shape, or form. But let's say that these points don't apply to indie games, that I just have to find that diamond amongst a gigantic pit of coal. Even if you find that Disco Elysium, Hades, or Inscription, there's still an elephant in the room. You know another reason why video games aren't fun anymore? It's because everything has gone bad. We've all grown up. And what do we get for growing up? I saw a post on Twitter that if you kept $1,000 in a piggy bank since the day the Federal Reserve was created, then it would have lost 80% of its value. Now, I didn't look into the specifics of that, but anyone with eyes can see that the game of life is rigged against you. What started as the American idea of the man bringing in the bacon and the mom staying home to take care of children is gone. Now, the American dream is if you want to own a house in a similar neighborhood in which you lived in, have both the husband and wife as a minimum, be a software engineer and a doctor. Yeah, hey guys, let's just all be doctors to attain the American dream. On top of that, you get taxed on your income and the things you buy. Meanwhile, they just print money and send billions of dollars overseas. Let's look at the current picture. The stock market's down, and it's probably going to crash. Gas prices are up, grocery prices are up, wages are the same, and layoffs are incoming. The worst part of it is that we're stuck with $6 eggs, and I love eggs. In addition to being sucked dry financially, our health is also being sucked away too. Obesity, cancer rates, depression is at an all-time high, folks. Seed oils, which cause cancer, heart disease, and obesity, is in so much of our food. We've all seen pictures of a beach in 1980 versus a beach in the present day. It's pretty clear that somewhere along the way, we screwed up in an epic fashion. We've basically normalized obesity and man boobs. On the inside, our testosterone and sperm counts are dropping because we are being bombarded with chemicals in the food that we eat, the water we drink, and the clothes that we wear. In this article, it states that a 2007 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism revealed a substantial drop in U.S. men's testosterone levels since the 1980s, with average levels declining by about 1% per year. This means that a 60-year-old man in 2004 had testosterone levels 17% lower than those of a 60-year-old in 1987. And remember how I mentioned that the price of eggs and meat is going up? Well, here's a convenient solution. Here's some fake meat with some food coloring to fool you into eating it. And by the way, food coloring causes all sorts of problems, such as ADHD. And if you're not into fake meat, just eat some crickets and grubs. Oh, it's definitely not because the rich, wealthy, and powerful want to demean people and feel superior to us. It's because it's sustainable. You can just go outside and dig a hole into nice, fresh soil for a quick snack. Not only is our physical health being attacked, but also our mental well-being is being attacked at the same time. We're being psychologically engineered by the content we watch and the algorithms that are placed on us. Social media gives off this idea that everyone is having the time of their life, which causes a certain type of envy to arise in people, spreading depression along its way. Hardcore pornography and softcore pornography on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch is free. But what you aren't paying with money, you are paying with your ambition and your soul. One example of how we're being socially engineered by algorithms is how TikTok in China spreads educational videos in their algorithms. Meanwhile, TikTok in the US spreads degenerate content.
In their version of TikTok, if you're under 14 years old, they show you science experiments you can do at home, museum exhibits, patriotism videos, educational videos. They don't ship that version of TikTok to the rest of the world.
And all of the consequences of the things that I've mentioned are coming to its conclusion. Half of women are now childless at 30 for the first time ever. Young men are loneliest they've been in generations. Now, I'm not implying that you can't be happy being single or without children, but what I'm suggesting and proclaiming is that there's this depression and oppression that's going on in this sick society. And the result is that people don't want to bring a child into society. People just want to be alone. Can you really blame them? Do you really think you can just take a good look at what humanity has accomplished and say, we've won, we are the most enlightened humanity has ever been. Everyone in the past had lower intelligence and were stuck in their ancient ways. And guess what? Artificial intelligence is here, and some people are so excited for it. Now I can create things so easily. Instead of using actual brain cells, I can just type with my fingers to let the computer imagine things for me. Imagine using your imagination. You see, me prompting the AI is basically me being Beethoven, Kanye West, Picasso, because the only aspect of art is the imagination. It's not the execution. We all have the same brain. So let me use this AI, which was trained on thousands of artists and writers without their permissions. Think about it. Humans are probably the only organism to price their own life and value their intellect out of existence. There's a saying that it took billions of years for the brain to name itself. But now the saying is, it took billions of years for the brain to invalidate itself. Hypothetically, the future of art, stories, gaming is going to be AI-driven. I guess while I consume my fake burger made in a laboratory, I can also consume my fake content by a fake content creator prompted by some schmuck AI bro's Cheeto-dusted fingers. You know what? I'd rather go to an indie film festival and watch an amateur-looking media than consume AI-generated content. I'd rather look at some $100 short film filmed on an iPhone by some random 18-year-olds. Because I know there's a real person behind the camera, the pencil, the keyboard. I know that all the circumstances in their life had led up to that moment in time. A real human being with happiness and sadness, triumphs and failures made that piece of content. But what if there's zero financial problems in the world? 0 health problems in the world, 0 artificial intelligence. Guess what? You see that amoeba? That's you, over billions of years. You are a product of billions of years of mutations and accidents. You are an accident. You see the ant that you stepped on as you walked by? It's the same as you. None of us are going to remember any of this anyways, and yet we act like things matter in this world. We actually think our love and our hate and sadness mattered, when it really never happened at all. We've convinced ourselves that if we get that relationship, that career, that house, that family, that we can find something as elusive as happiness and meaning in our lives. We've all have had thoughts staring into the ceilings of our bedrooms as we drift off into the night about the meaning of life and questioned, why does anything matter in the first place? Then we go to sleep, wake up, and pretend that everything is fine as the world burns down around us. And we all know it deep within the bottom of our souls. But maybe, if any of what I said rang true to you, the next time you load up a game, or a movie, or anything for that matter, really ask yourself, am I actually having fun? Or am I just pretending to?